we've talked about it plenty over the last few times we met with you, I guess. But now that it's kind of on the eve almost of Nick coming back and things, is there just an anticipation and an eagerness? He kind of chomping at the bit at this point?
Yeah, he shot it great this morning. This morning we bring everybody in for half an hour of lifting and half an hour of shooting. And he shot it really well today. I know he's excited. He's got to be. I mean, to miss 20 games has been a very stiff penalty. And he's gotten through it now, and it's going to be great for our team. And I know Nick will be excited to be back out there with his teammates and playing again, competing.
Go ahead, Brian, in the middle, and then we'll go to Garrett.
By that same sort of token, is there a concern with him that, first game back in front of his hometown, there's a concern that he might try to do too much too early? How do you sort of rein in the emotions of that for him?
God, I mean, I think you guys are making like it's going to be a more emotional thing for him than it's really going to be. He's out there playing again. I mean, I don't see that being an issue. I really don't. I think he's trying to come out there and help us win a game and compete, and like he does every day in practice, and fit in as the point. This is the first time he's our starting point guard in his tenure here, and I think he's been incredibly unselfish and done a great job in practice every day, sharing the basketball, not turning the ball over, playing great defense. So I don't think it's going to be super emotional. There's not like he's coming back off of some horrific injury or I don't see it. I think you guys are dramatizing this a little more than it is.
Go ahead, Garrett.
Is he ready to play significant minutes right away, or does
Absolutely. He's in game shape, ready to roll. We make sure of that.
Go ahead, Logan.
You played this game in Jackson a number of times. What do you like about just going down there and playing in kind of a different atmosphere?
Well, what I like is that we're going to get an opportunity to play in front of our fans. It's great for them. Basically we're reaching out to them and giving them an opportunity to be able to drive 15, 20 minutes versus the 2 hours that the fans that come up here for the games do there and back. So it's a very small sacrifice on our part, and it's nice. It's nice. It's around Christmas, Sunday afternoon, right after church. This is really, I think, going to be a good day to do it, and we like doing it for our fans. And a lot of our players are from Mississippi and have played in that building in the state playoffs, state championships. I mean, Robert, Tyson, Nick have all won state championships in that building. So it's kind of nostalgic for them as well.
Go ahead. Obviously, New Mexico State was a bucket away from knocking off Auburn in the tournament last year. What kind of challenges do they present?
Yeah, they're a very talented team. They're a team that has very good guard play. They played a very tough schedule. They always play a home and home and have forever with the UTEP Miners, who have great basketball history and tradition, and University of Mexico. And so right away, you got 4 very difficult games that they're playing every year with a lot of emotion. Those are rival games. UTEP's just on the other side of the border there, and we used to, when I was at UCSB as an assistant basketball coach, you fly into El Paso to drive to Las Cruces. It's about half an hour away, and you're looking at Juarez on the other side there, and it's an interesting backdrop heading down. But so they have a long historic tradition, and these guys play. They've won the previous 2 years leading up to this year. They're 3rd in the country in winning percentage, behind Gonzaga and Duke or somebody in terms of overall winning percentage of 86% of their games they've won. And they have 2 kids that are both out that started for them a year ago with injuries to their hand, and they're right about ready to come back, and they may be back for our game. We can't get any information that can really clarify that for us. They're close.
Go ahead, Brian.
Sort of a big picture question. It seems like every time I watch college basketball right now, there is an upset. It seems like it's happening every day. Just beyond the SEC, I know I've asked you about that before. Is this the most parity you've ever seen in the sport?
Yeah, I think parity continues to increase in our sport. And that may change a little bit when you go back to going right out of high school to the NBA again. You know, like, you know, but, you know, you have older teams, like we're playing teams, like the last game, and we're playing a team that, you know, one at Texas, one at Notre Dame the previous year, one at Northwestern this year, has the bulk of their team back from last year that won their conference in the regular season with older guys. And then you have older guys, and they're always, especially when you're a mid-major trying to beat a team on the road, you know, there's extra motivation. And you feel that. I mean, when we're playing the Sam Houston, you know, State or Louisiana Tech or Radford, you know, those are tough games, every one of them. You know, we're sweating them out. Yeah, so I'm not surprised by it.
Iverson and DJ have played a lot of minutes here early on, that obviously for the left guard. How much does that help them? And by the same token, how much will it also ease their burden now with Nick back, that they can kind of fit more natural roles, especially once SEC play starts?
You know, I think that it's really going to help us in the long term because both those guys are counted on heavily moving forward. And you know, getting Nick back allows us now to normalize our minutes. You know, if you go back and look at the previous 4 seasons, we're not averaging anybody 34, 35 minutes a game. That's like crazy because you have a diminishing return. You get worn down and then you make mistakes. Just taking 5 minutes less off, you know, some of these starters' roles is going to really help them perform better, in my opinion. And you see that in the NBA. You know, no one's playing 48 minutes. I mean, if you're playing 38, you're playing a lot of minutes in an NBA game. Same thing's true at our level. I mean, if you're playing 30 minutes, that's because you're asking a lot. And again, it allows Robert to move up to the 4 a little bit some, which against certain teams is a better matchup for us defensively, as well as some offensive advantages for us.
Anything else for Coach before we let him go?
You trying to cut me off here? I mean, here we are. I got here early. Matt's trying to get rid of me here.
We
What's going
talked a
on?
lot about